Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design as well as this design. And they both say the same thing. They are a couple of the stanzas from the Ballad of Serenity from Firefly, the show. And I'm excited to have gotten to work on this project because I'm quite a fan of the series myself. And this design was meant to be a tattoo at the back of somebody's legs, and that's why they're symmetrical and matching. This is more for like just the lower leg, just the calves. I suppose you could also do just the upper legs too, but I made it with the lower leg calf design in mind, where this is for the full leg. So we have ankle, calf, knee, thigh, and then this is where the booty would go above here. So yeah, and the idea is to have just this little bit of line work that's flexible and not part of the translation being across the knee, where things are more likely to fade and bend and need to be resized and fit together. So like we can just take this section here and then make those lines line up with this section here and kind of apply them separately. So anyway, let's go ahead and get to reading this. So you read the script using the key shown above me, and there are different rows and there are different columns. The different rows indicate which letter stem a consonant starts with, and that means there are shallow divots, like this one in the third row. There are deep divots, like this horseshoe shape here. There's crossing circles like this one, and then there's floating circles inside the word circle, so those are the four rows. And then there are dot and line modifiers making the columns. And you read the script starting at the bottom and you go counterclockwise, like a time traveler going back in time, and that's why we start reading it here. So here's a little start marker. And that means here's our first word, and we have this shallow divot with no dots or lines, because these two dots are both a little bit closer to this circle here, so that's the letter T. Then we have our A outside the word circle, a full floating circle with two dots is a K, and then our little vowel is an E. So these little guys, they are vowels. So that's take, and then continuing counterclockwise, we have 1, 2, 3 lines on this floating circle for the M, and then our little E, so that's the word me. This word starts with a little O inside our word circle, U with a line going outwards, and then another T, shallow divot and modifiers, just like this T. And here's a period. And this junk going around here is just a sentence circle. So that's the take me out, and then this word, starting at the bottom, we don't hit our first letter until this shallow divot. And because this line passes through, it doesn't count. So that's another T, and here's an O, so that's the 2. A TH is a crossing circle with no dots or lines, so that's a TH, E, so to the. And then this word circle I have in the negative, which is just an artistic choice, but I felt kind of fit with the word black, and I like that depth that some of that negative design work kind of adds to it, but I could of course flip it inverted if you would prefer. But here we have a B, a deep divot, no modifiers, an L with 3 dots, A outside the word circle, a C with 4 dots, and a K with 2 dots. So that's black. And then here's a little period. So take me out to the black, period. And then here's a little start marker indicating we go this way. T is a shallow divot with no modifiers. E, 1, 2, 3 dots for this L, 1, 2, 3 dots for this L. And then this is like another way of doing a space, a deep divot with 1 dot in it. So that's a space. So tell, space. And then we have this double line going from sentence circle to word circle. And that would be an apostrophe. So for the apostrophe before the E, M. So for the M, so that apostrophe. M, space, I, line going inwards, space, A, I, N, and then here's another one of those apostrophe, and then a T. And then this looks like it could be apostrophe here, but it's actually connected up to this word circle here. So rather than being connected to a sentence circle there, from word circle to sentence circle, it's going from word circle out towards the rough estimation of a sentence circle that doesn't really exist around here because the sentence circle's inside. Yippee, but I wanted to make it visually line up with that other apostrophe. So bottom of the word circle's here. Our first letter is this guy. It's floating inside our word circle, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4 dots with it. So it's a C. Then the O inside, 1, 2, 3 lines on the M, I with a line going inwards. The N has 1 line, and then here's that apostrophe. So for the come in apostrophe, and then a B, A outside the word circle. And this is some stacked letters. We have the thin circle with 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, and that's a C, and then the thick circle with those 2 white dots. So that's a K. So that's a C and a K stacked. So that's BACK, back. And that's that first design. And then we have another start marker going counterclockwise. We have a B, and then you have a U with a line going outwards, R, N, so that's burn, TH crossing our word circle, so THE, burn the, And then we have this. There's 2 dots for sure on it, but this third dot is closer here than here. So that's a third dot. So that's an L, A outside the word circle, an N with 1 line, and then this deep divot has 1, 2, 3 dots. So that's the word land, comma, so burn the land. And then we have our bottom of the word circle, A outside the word circle, 1 line on the N, and then 3 dots on the D, so and. And then going counterclockwise, we actually hit this first. So land, land, and B with no modifiers, O inside our word circle. This looks like it could kind of technically be an H if these were line modifiers, but then this little bubbled out bit makes it look less like, it could be an H and more like a BO. That's just something to note with this inverted style that I'm using. But it is a deep divot with no modifiers, and then this O that's on the line of our word circle. This line goes to the I, and then 3 dots on the L, so boil. THE, the, SEA. So 1, 2, 3 lines on the SEA. Period. So boil the sea. So burn the land, comma, and boil the sea. Period. Here's another little start mark going this way. We have a crossing circle with 2 dots. So that's a Y, O, U, U. Here's our space symbol, deep divot 1 dot. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on the C, A outside the word circle, N. And then here's another apostrophe, T, so can't. Here's another space, T, A outside the word circle, 2 dots on the K, E, so take. And then this doesn't end, so it doesn't look like an apostrophe because it is just a line modifier coming from here. So that's how I justified this not looking like an apostrophe, like that one. Here's our next word. We have a full circle here for our word circle, and then this is a TH crossing E, so the. Shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines on it, so S. K with 2 dots, Y with 2 dots, so there's sky. 1, 2, 3 lines on the F, R with 3 dots, O internal, and then our last letter is this guy, this big old circle, and there's 1, 2, 3 lines ending on it. So that's from 1, 2, 3 lines on the M and then the E. So the sky from me. So all together, take me out to the black. Tell I ain't coming back. Burn the land and boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. And now let's move on to this design. So here we have shallow divot T, A, K, E, take. Oh, this is our little start marker. Instead of pointing counterclockwise, I just kind of have it at the bottom here because you start again at the bottom going counterclockwise. But anyway, take. 1, 2, 3 lines on the M, E, me, O internal, U line going outwards, T, so take me out, comma. Shallow divot for the T, O, 2, T, H, E, the, B, L, A, C, K, actually is the exact same shapes for that, except for the A. I made the A a little bit different, so black. T-E-L-L, so this is a double letter, it's the same line thickness with a double line with those 3 dots, so tell. Then we have that apostrophe E, and then 1, 2, 3 lines on the M, so M, I, line going inwards, A, I line going inwards, N, and then this is a sneaky little apostrophe. This double line doesn't do anything other than be a double line branching from that word circle, so that makes it look more like an apostrophe, and then a T, so ain't, and then here's a really funky word circle, this guy here. So this arc alludes to the word circle because these little guys are just letters. And the big thing I wanted to be careful with is having this not look like a shallow divot. I need this to not look like a shallow divot because if it does, then it's, you know, a letter. But if it's just a broken word circle, that's fine. Because starting at the bottom of this word circle, getting kind of clockwise, this is the first letter we hit, and it's definitely a floating circle. And that floating circle has 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, that's a C, and then our O is inside. This M also inside with 1, 2, 3 lines, and then an I line going inwards, and then the N with 1 line. And here's another apostrophe, again on this word circle bit, going somewhere, because here's apostrophe lines on ain't, and here's apostrophe lines on coming. B-A-C-K. Again, this was yoinked from the other design, pretty much, except I moved those 2 dots. So tell him I ain't coming back, and then we have this, we have B, U with a line going outwards, R with 3 dots, and then the N with 1 line, TH crossing, E centered, so burn the 3 dots on the L, A outside the word circle, and for an ND, we can actually do just 1 letter, instead of doing an N and a D, and 1, 2, 3, 4 dots needs to make that an ND. And this isn't the word and. here. This is just an ampersand, like that little figure eight thingy, which there's a whole section of diacritics on shermansplanet.com/Gallifreyan, which is the main primary source for this script, that talks about the different diacritic marks. And this is the shape for an and symbol. So I wanted to make it balance with a comma, and I couldn't really write out the full word and in that space and make it look good, so I just did that. B, O internal, I line going inwards, 3 dots on the L, boil, T, H, E, the. These are palindromic thes, by the way. It works out to have these flipped, which is pretty great, and I like that. And then this, again, so, I suppose, let me do this real quick. That hides our little white bits. That's how I do this stuff, is I just white out the spots that are to be, quote, erased. We have a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 white lines coming off of it, so that's the S. E is centered, and then our A is outside the word circle. So this is just the word C, and because it's only got one consonant and the rest are vowels, it's kind of hard to visually balance it with the 4 consonants of black. But anyway, here we have a TH. That's a Y. It's a Y because it has 2 dots. A Y crosses the circle with 2 dots. O, U with a line going outwards. So U, 1, 2, 3, 4 dots on the C, and then the A is outside the word circle, an N with 1 line on it, and a T, so can't. And here's my really sneaky apostrophe. There are 2 little lines that end here. Now these are kind of the lines on the H, and those lines on the H kind of blend in with this little sentence circly goober here, but this is my justification that that's an apostrophe. I really didn't want to add any more junk over here because I really liked how this shape looked. I think it makes a nice little swirly for behind the knee. So C-A-N apostrophe T, can't. Shallow divot with no modifiers is a T. A, 2 dots on the K, E is centered. So take a T is a shallow divot with no modifiers, an H is a deep divot with 2 lines, E. So that's another way of doing the word the. 1, 2, 3 lines on the S, a K with 2 dots, and a Y with 2 dots. So there's sky. And F is a deep divot with 1, 2, 3 lines on it. R is a shallow divot with 1, 2, 3 lines on it. O internal, and then 1, 2, 3 lines on the M. And last but not least, we have 1, 2, 3 lines on the M here, and then the E there. So altogether, this design says, T-A-K-E, take me out to the black. Tell 'em I ain't comin' back. Burn the land, and sign boil the sea. You can't take the sky from me. And yeah, that's that design. So yeah, I hope you like it. Thanks. Bye.